So I'm back. So I want to talk about Caitlin Clark's season. Uh, I know I'm a couple days late, but they ended up losing to the Connecticut Suns. They ended up getting swept. We know the WNBA playoffs is only the best out of three, so they lost both games. The first game they lost easily. The second game was real close. They could have won, but they ended up losing in the end. So now that the season is over for Caitlin Clark, I wanted to wrap up what I thought about her first season, her rookie season. So obviously, like I said in the last video, she definitely exceeded expectations. She ended up winning Rookie of the Year and leading her team to the playoffs. It's the first time the Indiana Fever made the playoffs. I think they said in like 6 years. So, and she was the only major piece that they got. So of course, she deserves a lot of the credit, not all, because of course, Aaliyah Boston and I think her name is Joelle. I forgot her name, but they played good this season and they deserve a lot of credit. Just like, it's a team effort, but Caitlin Clark definitely was one of the main reason, if not the main reason, because she led the league in assists her rookie season. So that speaks for itself. And I think she had the most three-pointers made out of everybody in her rookie season. So and she was arguably a top five MVP candidate this season. So she definitely exceeded expectations. She definitely living up to the hype. Now, all she have to do now is, of course, she need to win the MVP, which might, gonna end up coming. But she do need to win a championship because with her losing twice in the national championship, now just losing in the playoffs, people gonna start to question if she's a winner or not. Even though she's doing everything individually, but she don't want to be one of them players that individually we know got all the accolades, MVPs, but they not winning a championship. So of course we don't want that to be held against her. But the reason why a lot of people hasn't been holding that against her because she has been played on a bad team or not she haven't played on a great team her entire career. In college, we know she played for Iowa, and Iowa, I think they said it was 20 years since they made it to the national championship. We know that nobody else on her team made it to the WNBA besides one player was taken in the second round. I forgot who it was. But nobody else was drafted. So she didn't have a good team in Iowa. We know it's not one of the top schools. And then she was going against South Carolina, who was undefeated, and all of these other better teams, UConn and stuff. So now when the WNBA, she went to the worst team in the league. So just her getting them to the playoffs is of course an accomplishment. But people is gonna start to say, can she win or not? So that's what she gonna have to figure out. Hopefully the Indiana Fever they get better and they get better players around her. If not, then she might have to be looking like Kevin Durant or LeBron and going to another team to win a championship because I know she winning a championship is her main goal. We know that she one of them type of players that cares about winning championships, especially with her already getting a bunch of individual awards since college. So a championship is really what she's missing. I'm not sure if she won at high school or not. I'm not for sure. So that's what it's really gonna come down to is can they make the team better? But they a young team, so if Aaliyah Boston keep on progressing, because she was just the number one pick the year before Caitlin Clark. Um, and their chemistry got better because you see that they got better as the season went on. The team started to get better. So it's a lot of hope going into next season if you're a Fever fan and if you're a Caitlin Clark fan, because it's a lot for her to build up off of. So that's gonna be interesting to see. It's crazy the season don't start back to April. It's weird how their season is because remember the college season ended and then the WNBA season was starting right within a month. So it's like Caitlin Clark ain't getting no break. And that's why she said she's not gonna be playing basketball this off season because she's been basically playing basketball for a year straight, going straight from the college season and it went literally straight into the WNBA season. But now she about to have like 8 months off. So yeah, ain't nothing really much to say. I mean, it spoke for herself. A lot of people doubted her. A lot of people, like I said, still holding against her that she didn't win a championship and stuff like that. But in time that comes, like if you do look at stuff objectively, you can understand why it's not like she's playing on one of the top teams and she's coming up short or something like that. Like she's literally a player playing on, teams that have no business even being where they at. So you got to think about that. So my only problem that I noticed with her game that she need to improve on is that sometimes she need to really balance, and I can really feel where she coming from because that's how I was in my game a lot too, which is crazy. And that's why I said it's crazy that a lot of her game resembles my game, is that she had to it's hard to decide when, like LeBron go through this, like when to take over and when to pass, like when to score or when to get the assist. That's the only bad thing about players who versatile, who can score and assist. Like, like Kobe, Jordan, they knew that they was gonna score. An assist was gonna come second to them. But when you literally a player to where you might, like Caitlin Clark is arguable, is she even more so of a pass first player? But when you always battling, okay, should I take this shot or should I pass the ball? It leads to indecisiveness. And then a lot of times she be forcing passes that she shouldn't be forcing. People always call you whenever you film, and like whenever you record, and that's when people decide that they want to call you. So I forgot even where I was at. But anyway, yeah, so it's gonna come down to her winning in the end. She gonna have to win. But she got time. Like I said, to be a rookie, she shows strides. All she had to do is keep getting better. Oh, that's what I was talking about, her game, that she had to learn when to score and when to pass. And sometimes she be trying to pass too much, like she be making bad passes, trying to um, basically fit the ball into a small spot. And it make for some great passes, but then it leads to a lot of turnovers also. So she basically got to find that balance in her game. Then of course her handles need to get a little bit better. That's why, like I said, her one weak spot, like that was my one weak spot. Like it's good enough to play point guard, but she do get ripped, every now and then. Like this last game, she got they stole the ball from her. So that's probably her weakest area, is her handles that she need to work on. And then she need to, of course, balance being a passer and being a scorer. That's always a balance that Magic Johnson, players gonna always battle with, because when you good at both versus, okay, if you're a passer like Rondo, okay, you know what you gonna do first. And then if you wide open, or if you got a wide open shot or a good look, then you shoot it. Or if you a scorer, Kobe or Jordan, your first thought is to score. But if you double team, okay, now pass. But when you somebody who likes to do both, you got to pick and choose. And then a lot of times they would double on her this second game. So they definitely gave her a lot of respect because she was getting double teamed a lot, but she wasn't making the right pass a lot of times. Because like they would double her on top of the key, and then she would pass it inside instead of passing it to the person who was wide open for three. It was a couple times somebody had a wide open three and she didn't even see him. So that's stuff that she just has to work on. But the future is bright. She started off the her career great. The WNBA in the best place it's ever been. I probably will watch the WNBA finals, especially the last game, for sure, just to see who win. It's probably gonna be Vegas versus might be Vegas versus the Sun. And we'll see, if Wilson end up winning another championship because they won it last year. So yeah, that's my thoughts for now. Wrapping up Caitlin Clark's season. Shout out to her. She definitely proved that she one of the best. She already one of the best female players. She already did left her impact on the game. Um, she done already did that. Now her goal is to win a championship sooner or later. And I don't know if she gonna do it on a fever or if she gonna leave, but she strike me as the person who gonna try to re-sign with them and be loyal to them versus chasing the championship. But you never know. So we'll see how the team get better over the years. With them making the playoffs this year, they finally ain't gonna have the number one pick or a top five pick. So you got to look at that also. But maybe somebody want to sign with them, or it's all about, your drafting. Because you can draft somebody at the end of the first round or even the second round that helped your team because they already got their core players. They know Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark gonna be their best players. But no, and Aaliyah Boston, she had a bunch of rebounds this past game. She was doing her thing. She was struggling scoring early, but then she had ended up coming on. But I see the problem with Aaliyah is that she got to watch her weight, obviously, and her conditioning. Because I think at the beginning of the season, it was her conditioning that was messing her up more so than anything. And then she also like she gotta stop crying because she was crying in like this last game, getting frustrated. Like she gotta be able to control them things, getting frustrated. Then she do need to work on her post game some and be sloppy sometimes. But I do like her effort. She definitely does play hard. She definitely does have game for sure. So and she young. So like I said, if they progress and get better, the team chemistry get better, they gonna be a force to be reckoned with for sure. So that's my thoughts on Caitlin Clark. This is probably the last time I'm gonna talk about her until next year, unless something crazy happened with her or something like that. And like I said, I'm not sure with the WNBA finals. I might watch it and then, talk about it at the end. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. So that's just my opinion on Caitlin Clark's season and what I think about the Indiana Fever going forward. And the WNBA is getting better than ever because Juju gonna end up coming. Then you got Paige Buckers, who, two players that a lot of people know about and waiting for, especially Juju. Then you course know Angel Reese gonna see what she do. I know they just fired their coach. So, you know, that's the first time ever. I've never thought I would be talking about the WNBA. So love them or hate them, regardless of what they do, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark definitely gonna always be famous and known as like, people who helped change the WNBA. And I'm out.